Ще покажу, як кожен спортсмен піднімає логліфт.
Покажи.
Можемо почати з Тірекса.
Ну давай, хочеш стену, давай.
А, блядь, ще шучу.
I'm so sorry.
And this is
Okay. All right. Can you all hear me? I got to double check. I'm waiting for a yes. I will not harass Mo. I think there's a fly in here. Anyway, yep, there's a fly. I can hear him. Oh, I didn't put my little desk out. There we go. Yeah. Sorry, Eric NINALTOWSKI. The mouse pad has to move. I can hear you. Good. Okay, nobody else can, but Mo can. I'm good. Anyway, sorry, Eric. The mouse pad, beautiful, has to step aside. Okay, now, Mo, close your eyes for a moment. I said that I would check and make sure that this thing actually belonged to me, and it does. Hex Allen Mel had to, because it says Mel right down there. Mel had to say, check your emails, and then I remembered. Oh yeah, I did ask him for this. Apparently, I won it because I was a particular background on a particular day, and I remember writing the email where I said, "Do either one of your characters, or if you don't want to do that, Vegeta," because I figured why not pick a villain, and he did both. Like, he is that cool. He did both. Now, please understand. One of the characteristics you'll get with ADHD is delayed. There you go, Mo. I'm censoring it now. You can look again. Is a delayed emotional response. So like my excitement came way after the stream, and I'm just like, this thing right there is the coolest thing, and this is really cool too. I have yet to find a sheet of plastic to contain her properly, but thankfully he said he sprayed them, so they're not going to get smudged. So I'm happy with that. So thank you very much, Hex Allen. I don't think I gave you props properly the other day. So here we go. Let's open some stuff. All right, gotta set things aside. Making my weekly mess, fixing the camera. I don't have a lappy job, so the board will do. I hope that's right. Should be good enough. Okay. So what's going on this week? Let's see. I have been reading books. I have been reading a book by Peter Tomasi. He's the guy who wrote the last good stretch of Superman, the 2016 run onward to like issue 45, I think it was. And he was partnered with Dan Jurgens over on Action Comics, and they went back and forth that way. So here we go. He is writing this 6-issue series called Blood Tree. I think issue 6 is in the previous catalog now. I'm not a fan of the art style. It's a consistent style, but I'm not a huge fan of the style. But as far as reading a murder mystery type book, it's a really cool track down the killer thriller type. So yeah, I'm happy with that. He also did Super Sons. Yes, Super Sons was the best. Holy cow. All right. It doesn't do me much good if you're still going to name the character. All right, here we go. Nephilim Squadron Volume 1. Thank you, Felix. There's the Super Sons. And in my, let's see, I have a link copy. And all right, I have to put the link here. Paste. Coming soon. And knock off the coming soon, shorten it up. I think that's it. And then I take this thing and I go pin message. And so you guys should all have a pinned copy of the link to the Barton Brothers sign up for their next campaign. There you go. And that's back when there was hope for DC. There is so little hope for DC right now. It kind of bugs me. well, kind of a lot bugs me because Superman's a good character, and I'm anyway. We need Superman type characters among other types of heroes. Anyway, so I'm gonna open 2 and then look at 2 books. Where's the other book I was gonna look at? What was it? Oh, no, I know what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing. This book came from England. Now, I've taped a piece of paper over all the critical stuff, but not over Elizabeth's face, because that's rude. And let's see. There it is. That's the one. Coming soon. We've seen weird stuff before, but in England, they have these envelopes that are a backer board, and then glued on the edges are the paper, so to stiffen it, and it's for documents. I have tried not to let this thing get any more ripped up than it was when it came in the mail. So... Ooh, I got lucky on this one that everything stayed in, but it got beat up in the mail. So here we go. Oh, where's the scissors? I have sharp objects and I'm ready. Don't even need to cut that end. Ah. So this comes from, oh man, what is his name? I can see it in my head. Bamfield, I think. Yep, there. Basically popped open. That's so reassuring. Ross Bamfield. And under this piece of tape, I actually have his signature, which is cool. It's for the customs form. And his book is called Chateau Obsidian. He tried to get it published with Comicsgate as a big trade paperback, but then he realized it's a good thing that his campaign didn't quite make it because, we're all empty. There we go. Yeah, all empty. Because he really needed the pacing of putting it out as issues in order to get it done the way he wanted it. So a couple of prints here. He always does a couple of prints. That's what came in. I can always tell by hair that slightly... that is awesome. That if slightly less experienced artists have a certain style in the hair, and then they grow over time and the hair changes. So I think his hair is changing over time. But anyway, here we go. Bjork. I felt dread as Hex Vegeta came close to completion. It reminded me of that feeling when I first read the words, Bendis is coming. God, don't remind me of that advertisement. Bendis is coming. I do understand something Bendis once said that I disagreed with at the time. It was that he doesn't follow characters. Hold on. Sorry about that. He doesn't follow characters. He follows writers. And I really disagreed with it because it blends into his not caring about the established character and treating them like he can do anything he wants with no respect for what came before him. In other words, a leftist. It's that crap. Well, I can understand following certain creators. I get that, but you still have to respect the property that's in your hand. And that's really what he was snarking off to one fan when he said that about. So anyway, I don't know what these are in his Chateau Obsidian story yet, but we will get there. Reading-wise, I'll get there. Oh, here we go. Third print. I missed it. I know who these guys are. I've seen them in the story already. So there's sort of your Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Guildenstern? It's been since high school since I read Hamlet. So if that was Hamlet, I think it's Hamlet. So, there's also a Rosencrantz. Oh, glossy. There's also a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern in the book we're going to review tonight too. All right, see what we got. I have a similar strategy when it comes to movies, TV shows. I do follow characters, but I also pay attention to writers because it's a better predictor of how good the show or movie will be than almost anything else. Okay, cool. No dramas. Okay. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I will take it on advice. So he's doing shiny covers this time, and he has signed it. So these are the 2 covers of issue 3. I'm really happy with the story in issues 1 and 2. It is about a cruise ship from Earth to somewhere I have to go back and reread because it's been a while. Oh, they're different sizes. Okay. So one of them, I'll do that at the top so you can see the difference. There you go. One of them's a little bit larger format than the other. I wonder why. All right. But yeah, issue 3 in both. They're both signed. That one's signed a little differently. So let's take a look. Use the bigger one. Maybe it's more visible. I'm going to look at the back end first. Okay. So there's our back page. This one's thicker. Is there something more to it? Nope. Same end page. Okay, it just felt different. Let's see what we got. So these people are all trapped on a long-distance, long-term cruise ship going somewhere, and there's a living entity on board that they are discovering called the Green Man. And he is hiding out somewhere in the vineyards that exist on the ship. That's all I can remember. So I got to go back and reread some. Yes, please back Wonder Island. In fact, I don't even remember who all the characters are anymore, but I did a review of at least number 1, maybe 1 and 2, further back in my channel on the videos, not the live stuff. You know, I just recently reread some of our Guardians of Erloth because I know that's coming up soon, and I looked at it and I did a review of number 1 before, and as I was rereading number 1, all I could think was, "The hell was I thinking before?" So, anyway, here's our what are the ones I call Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, our 2 characters who are discovering what's going on around the ship, but are not quite involved in it, but they're having a slight effect on the events around them. That much I remember. She's one of our main 2 characters. And he's the other one. He's essentially, in a way, if I recall, on the run from the law, as it were. Oh yeah, and this story is being told in 2 time frames. We get an older time frame, which I think involves her and the guy we just pointed out, and then the later time frame, which involves other people. Or I hope I'm not mixing that up, but it does involve 2 time frames. So it's a pretty cool story. I am keeping up on it. With things slowing down in crowdfunding or whatnot, I am really wondering how Ross plans to market. There we go. There's a nice monster. That is nice. 4 arms, 6 arms. Dang. And 2 legs. He's a spider. It's a giant spider. Green. Yeah, these people are not in stasis by their own will, as far as I remember. Okay, this ad in the middle of the book is actually part of the story in the book. It's not an external ad. There's a Church of the Green Man. Ooh, this is getting weird. Anyway, Ross showed himself to be a good guy. I know he's raising a kid, family guy. He's putting his work in and getting the product out eventually. He did hit some setbacks during COVID. I forget what they were, but they were understandable. So yeah, and she has gained some kind of power. The blonde lady has gained some kind of power. I just don't recall what it is. So it's been a while since I've seen this, and I hate the long time frames between multiple books, but it does it does take that long to get a book out sometimes. I understand, especially when we're not talking about people whose day job is art. For the guys whose day job is putting a book out, and they used to do it every 30 days for 20 pages, then I kind of wonder, what's going on. So, anyway, smaller format here, alternate cover. Here we are. If I can, all the reflections going on. So, I've got one more to open, and then I will jump into some side comments about the one more to open, and then my book review. So, okay. I love the color green. I prefer it over red. Put these away. How are you all doing? I never ask you how you're doing. It's so rude. Oh, I think I have a message. Pardon me? Nope. Nope, I'm good. All right. Actually, I should copy and I should send a message. Gotta do this fast. Paste. Go. Okay. So there's that. The train wreck continues in a moment. So I got really lucky getting these from England in one piece because I'm pretty sure it's not the British postal system that beat them up. Mo, you're making it worse by reminding us of it. As I punch my microphone. Sorry about that. Uh-oh, the board's in backwards. Oh. Shiny side goes on the comic. Okay, this one's the bigger one. Gently. Yeah, it's their TV license system is just bizarre. It strikes me as weird. Okay, I think you all know what's inside this one. So it's so funny that this was at the well, I say pile, but it's really a stack I have moving sideways on a bookshelf. This one's at the top of the stack because I finally listened to some of James Lindsay talking about the connection between Hermeticism and Gnosticism being blended together under Hegel. I think it was under Hegel. Forgive me if I got that wrong. But that Hermeticism heavily relies on oh, my finger was wet, on alchemy. And here we are. So years ago, I mean years and years ago, Lady Alchemy, yes. The Adventures of Major Gilbert. Maybe she put a bonus book in there. I don't know. But anyway. So years ago, this is what led me to realize that most evangelicals are just wrapped in ignorance. And so it was so annoying for me at the time. But anyway, and it was a long, sordid tale of discovery for me. If there was a film out a while ago, total garbage. Okay, it's just Marxism dressed in disguise. It's called Zeitgeist, and the whole idea was to debunk Christianity, and then somehow link Christianity to 9/11, the horrendous banking system that has taken over the world, which is real. I mean, the Federal Reserve, old Bank of England type system is really a problem, involving fractional reserve banking and other things you can look up another time. But one of the debunkers for it was a guy named Chris White, and Chris White led me to other things, which finally convinced me of the connection between demons and aliens. Story for another time. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we can get into it later. But as one thing leads to another, and I'm seeing new age things, creep their way into evangelicalism, and nobody's got the discernment to suss it out. They linked what to what now? Oh, hey, Crazy Mad. That's how I'm feeling right now. It's Crazy Mad. I forget what exactly I said that you're saying they linked what to what. Oh, I think Hegel, it may have been Hegel, tried to smash together Gnosticism and Hermeticism, and Hermeticism has a link to alchemy. All right. So anyway, it was back then that I finally got a grip on alchemy and saw that everything they told me in grade school about it was only half the story and a lie. So when they tell you in grade school that alchemists were trying to turn lead into gold, they're looking at those as real things. Those are symbolic statements about improving oneself. And then in alchemy, there are stages and levels you can go up through, like mineral, plant, mineral, something or other, plant, animal, human. And then above human, it goes somewhere else. Are we watching more lowly this week? No. No. Oh my goodness, no. Anyway, and so I got the whole symbolism of alchemy thing down. Oh, what's this? There are tiny little shrapnels in here. I wonder what that is. And so that was an interesting education. And aside from that, it showed me a lot of, along those lines, when I discovered that at the same time, I was learning about how much evangelicals just did not understand what was creeping into their churches. A lot of evangelicals will give the excuse of, sorry if I'm making too much noise. They'll give the excuse of, oh, well, that's of the world. We're supposed to be not of the world, blah, blah, blah. And yet those worldly things were taking over, replacing biblical theology. And these people were none the wiser. Like, they had no clue. Is this just a printing scrap leftover error? I believe it is. Yes, this is a book trimming that accidentally ended up in there. We'll just leave that aside. So, okay. So yeah, I learned a lot back then. That all started for me in like 2008. So, and we'll get more of that some other time. Let's see what we got. You didn't get the bonus Blade Devil Gryffindor crossover. No, no more Blade Devil. Oh my. Now, this is adult. Definitely an adult. No lolly. I might have to turn pages slowly. But I know one person, another Christian, told me that he had to use. Okay. Uniting the truth with the beautiful. So back to James Lindsay for a moment. James Lindsay just did a lecture series last week. It is now on his YouTube channel, which is called New Discourses. I've been paying attention to him for a while, but I somehow I wasn't following him on Twitter. I thought I was. And, you know, when people tweet something a person so much that you think you're following the other person. But anyway, but he did some discourses. So there's a 3-part lecture called As Below, So Above, which is the reversing of the alchemical, or sorry, the Hermeticism saying as above, so below. And there's a lot of the U.S. had occultism in it. Like, it's not just Christians who came over. But anyway, here we go. No part of this publication. Anything worth reading here? This book has gone through so many problems. So I can't read that. Large design? There's something design. Okay. Anyway, people worked on it. All right. So let's just take a look at the artwork. This book finally came out. Show off some art. There we go. Perfect. Flawless. There's an occultic belief, and by occultic I just mean it's as James just put it, this is a good way to put it, it's the religion that's been around forever that nobody talks about. And people think Freemasonry is trying, I'm just opening for the spine. People think Freemasonry is trying to take over the world, blah, blah, blah. No. Freemasonry was just dudes who knew how to do geometry and cut stones, sharing that information between lodges until the Illuminists, Andrew Weishaupt et al., decided that they wanted their religion, which is essentially Luciferianism, not Satanism, Luciferianism, kind of different. They figured the best way to get their religion spread around the world was to infect the Mason lodges with it. And then by the time America was founded, you had a variation between Masonic lodges that George Washington answered in a letter where he says, I am satisfied of, and modern people misunderstand that language, where I am, but let's look at a beautiful woman while I blather. But I am satisfied of does not mean he agrees with it. It means that he is convinced that this thing exists, that in other lodges, not his own, was this variation, and that was the Adam Weishaupt Luciferianism that had infested Masonic lodges. My pastor right now is finally catching up to me a bit, which is nice. And he's been studying Freemasonry in the objective sense, not, like academically. It is very hard to get Freemason books because the Freemasons, when they find them on eBay, bid really high to make sure nobody can buy them. Dang, the coloring on here is a bit, they're in a nightclub. That's why. Okay. I was going to say garish, but it's a nightclub scene. It totally makes sense. Anyway, what the Freemasons really do, everything else is secondary and ancillary. What they want to do is erase Christianity from the planet. That's their real goal. If they infest into governments and whatnot along the way, fine, whatever, doesn't matter. Does not look like a nightclub I would visit. What the hell is going on here? So anyway, and a lot of these old occultic beliefs, what is that? Whoa, are connected. This is going to be interesting. Anyway, I know one person who had to unfollow Martina here. Where's her name? Martina Markota? I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Martina Markota. There we go. Martina Markota. Because some of her stuff is a little bit racy. So, nothing against her personally, just some of her posts were a little too racy for him. There we go. Couldn't someone know? I think you know what that is. Yeah. It looked a little shapely. Actually, yeah, that was not what I expected here. So I'm not visiting certain nightclubs. We know that much. I like Martina. I do too. I appreciate her. She's a nice lady, and I hope she's doing well with her new little baby. I think she had a boy. Direct them to Matthew 5:5. Okay. Is that about boxcar racing or something? I think I left a thread of something I was saying loose, but whatever. Oh yeah, the Foundation of America. There were occultists over here too. So yeah, I think James Lindsay did a nice job naming it as the religion that's been around forever that nobody talks about. So if you go back, they will call it. The enemy of my enemy is my friends. And those aren't enemies. They're just people I don't care about. So, let's see, 5:15. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket or on a stand and it gives light to the whole house. Well, she's definitely lighting up the house here. Okay, so I know that's not what that verse means, but yeah, when occultists came into America, it was very early on. We've had socialism in America before and in the colonies, and it failed. People starved. Oh, this is cool. Did Michael Bancroft draw this for her? Because he likes this. This is totally his gig. I mean, I like books, but hey, how you doing? Jeez. This is the show where I get so nervous I forget everyone's names. Clayton. There you go. We are flipping through and looking at the artwork from Lady Alchemy's book while I blather about secret societies. Anyway, the so-called mystery religions, they're essentially not proto-Gnosticism that parallels all of your old pantheist systems, like the multi-god systems from, let's see, it started in Babylon, Chaldea, went to, that's where Ishtar was, and then went to Egypt, then up to Greece, and then over to Rome. So I have no idea what this is, but it's a break from, definitely a chapter break. Let's see if there's anything else cool in here. But yeah, those are your supposed secret religions, and it all boils down to proto-Gnosticism, then Gnosticism. Some of what you'll see critiqued in the Bible, where they say they're talking about, Gnosticism. They'll say, "Oh, this is John answering Gnosticism." That's actually proto-Gnosticism. A little more solid Gnosticism came later. Oh, at least she's wearing pasties, so I can show this on YouTube. Yes, YouTube. She's wearing pasties. Thank you. Yes, do sign up for BORORK. It looks really good. Nipplegate. Uh-oh, cheeks. Moving on. So I don't know what's going to happen in here, but it will be interesting. I'll tip up just a little bit. I don't think I can. So there we go. Something's going on. She is transforming. So in the alchemical sense, the whole deal is to transform yourself to ascend up into ether. Ether, astral, and then spirit, and then that's one set of planes, and then you can go up to the next set of planes or something like that. So anyway, yeah, but my experience with being in church was they don't want to know about this stuff because it's not Christian. But by not knowing about this stuff, they don't recognize a lot of things that are infiltrating Christian churches. And it's really, really bad. So anyway, so I have a book written by a burlesque dancer. All right. It actually looks like a cool little adventure, kind of magical. I'm into the magical stuff. So let's see. And then that went by quick. What time is it? We're at 35 minutes. Okay, everybody's saying hi to each other. did share the link, but I think he's asleep. So all right, so that's cool. Hey Clayton, if I show you the Vegeta drawing that Hex Allen did for me, I'll be accused of harassing Mo Biggs, so I have to keep it down. Yeah. So this week, I have read Kozor 3 times. There we go. There's really not much on the back of these. Sorry about the fuzzy camera. No glare, no glare. Come on. Oop, wrong one. I don't even know their names. Now I'm getting all nervous. Out the way. Okay. There's a lot in this book in my mind, and I tried to simplify it in my head. So I guess just talk about the art first, because Clayton is, he teaches how to write and stuff like that. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. Look, all right, this is the centerfold, as it were. Here we're at the front. So I initially almost didn't back this. I am kind of happy I did, but I'm initially almost in it because I have a lot of trouble with artwork that is overly dense in black and white. I think, in my opinion, no offense, Corey, the coloring kind of saved the art for me. When I see art, oh, wait a minute. Can you tell us how you really felt about the book? Yeah. Okay. All right. I often wonder if a lot of it's my dyslexia, that the super dense artwork in black and white will throw me off. I rely on line weight variations to give depth. And so open areas like the highlights on the skull here, where the texturing, he eases off the texturing a bit so that you can see flat open areas or anything like that, or like, these sort of areas. I need more of that breathing room for me to see things correctly, but that's for me. Here is more difficult for me to distinguish in the black and whites. So I'm mostly speaking in black and white right now. And so, by the way, this is Kozor back there, the title character, if you didn't get the book. And this is Baron, who's also known as Chief Baron. Let's see, the coloring saved the art. Whoops, wrong one. This is one of the many lessons Manger needs to learn. Another is what human faces look like. The bird pregnancy was super weird, Clayton. I didn't understand it. Yeah, I think we're going to blame that one on Corey. Okay. All right, and people are already here to save your feelings from anything I might say, so that's good. We need that. We care about how you feel. Anyway, so I struggle a little bit with artwork like that can be overly dense. Next, there's a certain style of artwork. I've been through, oh yeah, by the way, thank you for signing. These are way cool. I appreciate it. And then, yep, blame Corey for the bird pregnancy. So, looking down the names here, I'm glad to see all these people working on it, and special thanks and whatnot. So, with that, I've read stories before that make me feel something really weird, like spiritually dark. And I was afraid going into this by the artwork style and by creatures like this, that it was going to be one of those. Now, initially, just, for falling asleep and whatnot, I didn't quite get past much past the opening dream. And then I didn't get past this first scene after the dream. I am going to narrate through this a little bit just in case anybody didn't back the book and watches the stream. But I presume everybody here has this book anyway. So what ended up happening is I didn't really feel that dark about it in terms of which way? I need the camera to go that way on my desk. Okay, away from the mouse. Yep, there. I didn't feel that dark about it. Like it didn't wear and weigh on me the way other things have, whether it's a movie or whatnot. Now, bear in mind, I have had friends. I used to know these people at my old church, the old evil church when it was evil. It's probably a little bit better now, but the father of the family was a narcissist. I've got so many stories about that one. And anyway, the mom and daughter, or sorry, his wife and his daughter, the middle daughter at least, I don't know who all was with them. They walked out of the Fellowship of the Ring film because it was too dark. I'm not like that, okay? Like, anyway, so I was a little concerned going into this about how was this book going to go, and it did not go the way I feared, which is awesome. Oh, by the way, nice paper selection. You Aussies, whatever paper you guys print on, I like this paper selection. It's the same one Liam uses, this kind of silk matte. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so I like that. Our opening scene is a dream, and we don't know that right away. Very subtle right here. You see this skulled creature, you know, and I didn't notice him right at first. And then we see him hanging over the shoulder, etc. Our main character, Baron, is being talked to, sees his daughter. They have a conversation. I like the structure of the story. It is 100% Gumtree. Anyway. I should blame my older brother for everything about me. Anyway, so like, is that what that is? Is that a gum tree? I like how this story has bookended scenes. So Baron's daughter Alice is here, and of course she turns to this nightmarish creature, and her voice is taken over by this skull creature that is pursuing Baron. Over and over again, we get a theme in this book of eyes, and I haven't figured it out yet. So we get a close-up of an eye here. What she is covered with eyes. There's a we and an us. The thing that got me reading this, which is why I need to read it again and why I'm so intrigued by this, and one of the reasons I'm picking up number 2, okay, so I'll just say that right now, is there's a lot of, I think there's deception going on from this evil character, the skull guy. And so to figure out which parts are lies, which parts are truths, which parts are half-truths being used as lies to deceive, I want to see some of that coming around, because this skull character is trying to get free. He wants Baron to free him somehow. And Kozor has a role in this. I don't know what it is because we haven't been told yet, of course. And Kozor has something to do with him being imprisoned or empowered or I don't know what. So Corey, because you're here, if there are bits that I missed, I apologize for missing. But I did finally read it straight through and a second time last night. So getting ready. So his dream continues to hear. He sees Kozor with these creatures defending him. And I forget what exactly is being said, but he wakes up and he's got his 2 mistresses of another species attending to him. And they just want to get him to calm down, be nice. It reminds me of a woman who sees the good in her angry husband and knows that he's got a good cause. Well, I'm Clayton, but Corey wrote it. Yeah, there's lots of deception. Okay. Yes. Sorry about that. Oh boy. I'm probably going to call you Corey and think of you like as the editor and get it completely backwards and then say Clayton, who's not here right now, wrote it, which is absolutely wrong. Sorry about the names. It comes with nerves. Anyway, these ladies remind me of where a guy has the right ideas but is too angry about what he's trying to do and his wife's trying to calm him down. And so they just want him, maybe they're nymphomaniacs or something. I like some of the world building that goes on. This little helmet he pulls on is actually the scalp of another creature. So that's odd. that says a lot. He's exiting his tent. He's waking up in the morning. He's angry after his nightmare. I like how this is being laid out in double page spreads in terms of telling the story. So by the end of this double page spread, we move on to a new set of characters, and then later we hear from those set of characters. So this space that wasn't needed to end this conversation was being used to show us other people who come up later. It's a good use. Oh. They're basically a big distraction, trying to distract him from his work. Oh, okay. Well, I knew they're trying to distract him from his work, but I couldn't figure why. Other than what we find out in this conversation is they are a species that he killed him and took him kind of prisoner. So, why they're trying to distract him from his work could be, I don't know, vengeance or something. But I see here, one of them says, as he's walking away, somewhere in the background, is it the next page? Oh, yeah. She's begging him not to exit the tent and whatnot. They just want to massage him and make breakfast. And one of them says, yeah, but he's just always so mean. And that's what gave me the idea that they weren't finagling, what do you call it? Tactics. There we go. Anyway, so we get into our Rosencrantz and Guildenstern characters here, who give us a little bit more of the world building, and they tell us everybody's having nightmares or having evil visions. These two are a pair. I don't want to say a couple, but he finally gets out of his tent, and this is where I think the artwork lightened up for me. You know, things aren't just so dark and nightmarish. All right, moving on. So we get to hear from these other two, and they're very, I like how everybody has a distinct different personality. They're not all just warriors. So and this guy is supposed to be the annoyance. Orc. This is Orc. I can't tell if he's the same species as the two ladies, but I think not. Also, he has where is it? Everybody here but the humans has pointy fingertips. His fingertips aren't showing there. And I think, yeah. So these just look like human hands with fingernails. And somebody else the lady just has fingernails. But I noticed there are certain people who have pointy fingertips. Anyway, so they're getting ready to go on their mission, and their mission is to find the Faceless Man. And I'm not sure how to, in the swamp, sorry. They get to the swamp. I'm not sure how to interpret this, but it's as if disturbing the Faceless Man may have triggered or may be irrelevant to these gigantic birds coming and capturing them. So we make a pretty clear transition from one chapter, if you would, with the dream, to the next chapter of him getting up and telling everybody, get ready, we're going to leave. And the conversation here, I think, shows his character, tells us that there's something more to Baron that he's holding back, that he's always trying to hold things back, and it makes him angry. The way he speaks down to the orc, of course, you get that class difference. So I think the world is built very well through show don't tell. I mean, just perfect on that. And then here's our transition to the next chapter. They're leaving. So here now we're in the next chapter. I think the breaks page to page are good like that. We get into the swamp. So as I said before, I'm not sure about the cause and effect regarding if touching the Faceless Man brought the birds on or whatnot. And we're not exactly told, or we're told a little bit of why the king wants the Faceless Man, but because they're supposedly a good army, but we're not told everything that's going on here. And these birds, just see normal hand, fingernails, but not pointy. These gigantic birds just come in and decimate everyone. Things got a little unclear where here it looks like another orc is being chomped down by the bird, but the orc we know is this guy over here. So that I got a little lost on. It's a battle scene. Things like that happen. They think they've defeated the bird, and then the next thing they know, there's another bird, and I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. And there's another bird comes for him, whatever. And nobody's getting out of this alive. More evil creatures are coming out of the earth underneath the wagon where our two distraction ladies are, etc. Nobody makes it out of this. It's just a nightmare. So it's one of those, everybody dies. My problem reading this, problem's the wrong word. How do I say it? Mystery. There we go. The mystery I'm trying to solve reading this, and here's that eye theme again. And I want to figure out what the theme is with looking closely at everybody's eyes. But it goes on over and over again. Baron falls down into the swamp eventually and loses grip of the Faceless Man. I can't tell if this guy is just a corpse, like a loose corpse or what. We'll find out his meaning later, or it's just a mystery to be left alone. But where I said my problem, one of the mysteries I want to figure out is what exactly happened at the end of this, because we're not shown. He falls down through the water, if it's water. We get more of this. And here he meets the guy whose name I can't pronounce. Magator. There we go. He meets Magator. And Magator is the one who's tormenting him in his dream before. So there we are, step by step, so you don't have to read the book yourself. He wakes up from this as if it's a nightmare, and Baron has changed quite a bit. And now he's in this condition. We don't know. So here are Kozor's two ladies, Baron's two ladies, Alice, his daughter, and we don't know who these people are yet. And there are eyes just everywhere. Magator. Okay. Or is it Magator? I don't know. Okay. I'm seeing Magator. If it's Megator, just spell it differently. Megator. Oh, he was named in honor of January 6th. That is so funny. Anyway, think of it as being the present. Everything before is a memory from a long time ago. Yeah. So we get to the point where he's in the present, and in the present, this is what I took to be the present. Oh yeah, I figured the time frames out by the end of it. So you don't need to unconfuse me. Megator is haunting him with his own past. Yes. So here he's having the memories. Okay. These are the memories. This is back to the dream world. Multiple times I looked at this and I wondered what is real, what is dream. All right. So we jump ahead, and now this dude is this is bizarre to me. I don't know who this is that's off the edge of the page, which you can't see because I'm highlighting something. There we go. But he's got crystals growing out of his hands. Like, whoever this is seriously messed up. We've got this guy who has pointy fingers, not long, it looks like pointy fingers, not long fingernails on normal fingers. So if I'm misreading it, sorry, it's just really tiny. And he gives us a mythology. So we get a nice break here. It's a story within the story. That is actually Kozor, spoiler alert. This is? Oh, okay. With crystals in his hands. All right. So a little spoiler, we're seeing Kozor. I wondered if it was Baron, except that we don't see crystals in Baron's hands anywhere else. And this is where we get the mythology about how Megator has he's anyway, we get this dude, don't know who he is, standing here and reading a mythology about how this all came to be. Now, when I originally read this, I accidentally turned 2 pages at once and just went from the birthing scene to this, which is Baron back in the tower. As far as I know, that's Baron, because he's missing the eye. So, let's see. Where do I need to pick up? I forget the names of the creatures, so I'm going to gloss over this. This guy was exiled for being hairless and wingless and other things that his species determined was evil. She was exiled for reasons I forget what. They're not supposed to mate in anything but according to their gods, and yet they have a baby anyway. When that baby is birthed, almost full-sized from her, so this is reading like a mythology, and that's what I think is really cool. This reads like a Greek myth. So nice work, Corey, on that one. Corey's the one with the K who wrote the book. I am sometimes never able to interpret this gigantic thing unless it's like a tongue that just is always hanging out. But I've looked at that many times and wondered, am I reading that wrong? It's fine. Don't tell me. It's more fun not to know. Anyway, but he is birthed, and his power is to create madness in people. So he telepathically, just, yep, that's Baron. Okay. Telepathically just destroys his own father, so patricide, until the gods have to send other beings to drag him into the underworld and keep him prisoner, which is the whole deal now, is he wants Baron to set him free. We see Baron, and somebody is spying on Baron. So Baron sees the world this way. So here's Baron suffering. Here's this dude looking through a peephole. Baron is talking to the Raven or whoever else, or people he's hallucinating or whatever. He is not in good condition. And instead of seeing this, I look at this and I go, did he just take out Baron's second eye? No, he still has the other eye. So that's Alice speaking here with the eye. Okay, this is where everything is nightmarish, but that's what Baron is going through. So we go through the same confusion of a nightmare as Baron goes through, and I got it. All the hallucinations he's having. So Megator is tormenting him in order to try and get set free. Little political intrigue here in the hallway. Again, pointy fingers, but those look like normal with long nails. So I don't know. And I'm not sure what the pink mist is here, other than just more of an indicator that he's having hallucinations, because right here is Megator talking to him. So there's your Anyway, you got it. This guy, for whatever reason, does not want the king notified about Baron's condition yet. And it's like, it's said in such a way that is like, is this some kind of mad scientist that's going to perform experiments in the future or something? So this is Baron's current condition. Yes, Clayton, I did figure out all the time frames by the time I finished the book. And so don't worry about that. And then here we see the bird going away. So 2 themes, eyes and birds. I'm got to pay attention to those. And if they're to link things together, be symbolic, etc. And then suddenly we're in a totally different scene. As best I interpret this is way in the past, before even the opening of the book. And this is the story of how Alice came to disappear. Now, she is missing her arm, okay? Just from injuries I've had, which obviously do not include losing an arm, this is really painful. I mean, she's got a bone sticking out. She's probably in so much pain she can't feel it anymore. She's got to be bleeding everywhere, unless she cauterized it somehow. That is just a horrendous pain. So this is what I call body horror. So I got this one wrong. Thanks. Dang it. I had this all worked out this morning that this was not in the past, but it's in the present. So, okay. Sorry. Thanks for correcting me, at least for the review. I thought that this would be in the past, but it does set up a question for me. That could be totally nothing. It's not a question that needs to be answered. It's just looking forward to book 2. So this is where Megator is tormenting her as well, and she is pulled into these hallucinations. Now, this is a different view of she's by a tree. She has her limbs back. Oh, okay. Baron is messed up in the present. The one thing I got right was that him being in the bed was the present and everything else was in the past. Okay. The story actually shifts to focus on his daughter. Okay. So this being in the present now, she is also being tormented with hallucinations from, from Megator. Now, what I thought was nice about this in terms of a writing technique is her nightmare at the end, coming from what's real, is like a bookend that brings us, or that parallels his nightmare at the beginning, where he wakes up to what's real, which is apparently in the past. All right, so that's where we end. And I thought that was a nice writing technique to bookend it like that, with both of them having common experiences. However, Megator can mess with them so much that here he's speaking with her father's voice, and then further on that turns into Megator's voice. So, who is what and who really wants what? This is where I saw a lot of the deception going on. Is there some connection that she and her father can have in the nightmares, and Megator is just always there monitoring it? Don't answer. That's the question I thought would be really cool to find out later in the book, if somehow she and her father can make contact, but not knowing that they're making contact, not knowing, so they're not going to be able to pass messages back and forth like that. It's more, can they be aware of each other's attitude, that type of thing. So body horror wise, I'm not good with body horror. This is just incredible pain to me. so there we are. So there's stuff I liked about it was it's structured. It has chapters. I could figure out most of it. I like how the story is broken up, where we have a mythology told to us in the middle. I don't mind that this is all exposition. A lot of people hate exposition, but it is a storytelling technique. I'm too dumb to follow this. Oh, don't worry. I was too. So I took corrections from Clayton here. So yeah, that's what you get. So anyway, the artwork is skilled. I don't want people to make a mistake in what I'm saying. It's not that Corey... Let's see, before I get onto that. When Blue describes his jiu-jitsu sessions, it sounds like a body horror script or gay porn. Thanks, Mo. I deserve that. Whoops, wrong one. I'm waiting for the next one to pop up. Come on. Oh, speed up, StreamYards. You can do it. Anyway, yeah, Clayton has an immense amount of skill. It's that some of this may be overwrought and overdark. It makes it a little bit harder for me to see. And let's see. It's not popping up. That's weird. There we go. Yeah, got that one. There we go. Has much less depth than Kozor. Yeah. So, depth. Let's talk that. There's a lot of relationship stuff in this. I don't know all the species, like what the hell is she, and how they may or may not relate to each other. But Kozor is interesting in that he actually cares about his daughter. Let me flip this around. Sometimes doing the upside down thing like makes it harder for me to follow my own thoughts. He cares about his daughter, but he's holding back too much. And we get that right in the first few pages. He takes his anger out on everybody else, which makes him a jerk. And I don't like jerks. Jerks are not heroes. What I liked about this book is that by the time I finished, it felt complete. I knew who everybody was. We had some motives. We had definitely had events happen, but events aren't story. And it's not a straightforward hero story. It's a setup. But setup books can be failures if they don't have an ending to it that means something. Well, we got that. It's almost like we got shown through memory what's going on, where Kozor is now, how he got there, and that he's being tortured. Like I actually kind of understood Clayton that he's being tortured through memories by Megator. So we got all of that. That is almost enough right there. And then shifting to his daughter is just a bonus preview to the end that works really nicely because it's a bookend in her being tormented telepathically now by Megator just as well. So I thought that structure was really good. And it's like, structure carries it for me. So I'm interested. I'm weirded out. I've heard before that sometimes you have to stop Clayton from going. So not Clayton, Corey, from going a little too far in his drawing. With too many lines. I have trouble with some of Joe Ball's artwork too, where it's harder for me to see. But this being a very dark, nightmarish world, it fits. The extra details fit. And then what the hell is this guy? Just incredible monster there. I'm not even sure I can understand all of what that thing is. So yeah, there it is. There's everything I got out of this book. It's a weird book. Yes. And it has your name in it. All right. I Googled David Lynch. I haven't seen any from him. Oh, wow. But checked out in 30 minutes. Okay, I tried watching Dune once. Huh. Yeah, his Eraserhead and Twin Peaks are more his weirdness style. I tried watching Eraserhead, and then there's another one. What's the movie that has the song "In Heaven" on it that everybody, Bauhaus and the Pixies covered? It's the Lady in the Heater or something like that. In Heaven, David. The lady the Lady on the Radiator song or something like that. But it is oh no, that is Eraserhead. Okay, never mind. So, yeah, don't get too deep into David Lynch. Lost Highway, that was another one. Cool. I watched Lost Highway, did not have too much trouble following it, and then at the end I was like, okay, now I don't understand it. That Eraserhead? Yeah, that's Eraserhead. Okay, cool. Well, let's see, what else was there? I talked to you guys a little bit about, I went through a whole bunch of studying all sorts of occult stuff and realized that evangelicals have no idea what they're in for in the future. Let's see. Go watch, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go watch James Lindsay's channel for these 3 lectures he just gave recently. And I think that covers it. It is a weird book. I am on for number 2, but thank you everybody for being here. And I feel like it's over my head. You know what? Maybe it's one of those where by the end of book 2, you'll be fine with it. I don't know. But I'm going to look for a video file. This goes with our mentions of David Lynch and stuff like that. Clayton, if you haven't seen this yet, my closer, what time are we at anyway? Oh, we're at 104. Wish I had more to talk about, but loading it up. Yep, here we go. My closer for you guys is this. Thank you. I appreciate your time coming by, letting me read a book to you and kind of review it. I get a little lost in the plot sometimes, just trying to, go. I don't want to miss anything. yeah, I feel like there's going to be more I should have said about this book later. In a way, it's more like I didn't. I enjoyed it, but I didn't worry about enjoying it so much as I worried about trying to get what was going on because I wanted to. There's something about the way it's put together that makes me want to understand it, and I don't feel unsatisfied at having some mysteries linger around. I think that's a good way to close it off. So what do you got here? One of the things that made me invest so much in Kozor is the story is haunting. I like that. Yeah. And I care about how it's going to turn out, and I don't know why. You know? That's so odd. Anyway, hey, hail to the chat. I normally don't say hail, but hail Mo Biggs. Cheers. Okay, you all can get on to your next streams. Everybody have a good night or day.